I'm live, I think. I hope. Are we pretty sure I'm live? Lindsay? I think we're live. We're good.
Yep, no.
Okay, guys, so yeah, I'm live. My name is Armando J. Cox. I am a roofing company owner here in Denver, Colorado. I am also a content creator. I make all kinds of different content. I own a small video marketing agency, boutique style, have a very select few clients, and I love writing stories. I love doing visual storytelling, and I've just been in the roofing industry for 10 years that I just kind of like really enjoy so many parts of the roofing industry and all the people that are in it, because there's so many amazing people. Today I've got two of those amazing people, and one of them is Kaylie McIntosh. She has been in the industry for a long time, came from SVG background, and now she's helping out with one of our newest sponsors, Roofing Helping Roofers. I also have Heather Hitchcock. She's kind of a newcomer on the scene, on the online scene at least, but she's like already built a very strong personal brand. I got to meet her at a recent event for the Commercial Roofing Academy, and she was telling me how she really doesn't do a lot of door knocking because her personal brand is so strong. She just generates leads online from like her social accounts. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm excited to announce, we've got another new sponsor. His name is it's LMC Exteriors. They're a commercial roofing company. They do national jobs. LMC Exteriors. Check them out if you're needing to talk to a commercial roofing contractor. And we also have Roofers Helping Roofers, and they kind of help people.
Wait, I just heard something.
Is it coming? Are we back online with sound or?
I'm hearing our background noises, not.
Okay, so you're hearing the mic
We're
now.
good.
Okay. So you were hearing up until when you said we lost sound. Okay, so we lost sound, guys. So yeah, we're doing live stream, no filters, no edits, no anything. So like that's kind of sometimes things happen, and the software that we're using is pretty complicated. We chose this like kind of complicated software so we can have like more features to use and that kind of thing. But I feel like we're going to need to switch to a more simplified software because we keep having sort of like some technical errors. But either way, guys, so I just wanted to mention, a couple other sponsors, the Roofing Academy, Randy Brothers. There's some, I hear he's kind of starting a little something else too, some kind of potentially a mastermind earlier next year. So he hasn't really told me much else about that, but that he's kind of got something cooking there. So that should be really interesting. And then we have Get the Referral. So they're an app. I had Jamie Vumbach. He is the CEO of Get the Referral. He was on the show recently too. So you can kind of go back to some of the older episodes and start seeing, other guests that we've had on the show. And we're also working on getting all of my episodes on YouTube as well. So that's going to kind of like our intro today. And I'm going to kind of jump right into we're gonna cut to this like professional edited intro that we have, just so we can give me a little time to get our guests on the line and make sure we're good there. So let's go ahead and cut to the intro, guys. And we're back. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Kaylie, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay,
Can you hear
so
me?
I can. Yes, I can hear you. Kaylie, and I know you're like not looking at me. You're looking at Brock, I think. So you're not. So whatever you're looking on your screen, pretend like it's me.
Well, I'm looking at like you lagging, and then I'm looking at the back of the house over here.
Okay, so you got to somehow use your imagination. Like my face is there.
Who's in the
But
audio?
yeah, at least you can hear me. So gosh, you were here when we did those first episodes. This whole thing has been very challenging. I had this idea for the Contractor Weekly like over a year ago at this point, and like and we've had some pretty awesome shows, I have to say. But we used it. We ended up with this like really complicated software that like it's like hard for even if you're like a very technical person. This software is tricky. And like I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he's like, "Man, I stream on this thing called StreamYard. It's a very user friendly." He's like, "Yeah, just click right here and click right there." I'm like, "Dude, we need to switch to that." So, I think we're gonna switch to something a little more user friendly pretty soon here. But either way, Kaylie, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I just wanted to let's wait. Let's just have Kaylie for now, Brock. So. Yeah, because we've got another guest coming on after you, Kaylie. But so, yeah, Roofers Helping Roofers is one of our newest sponsors. I really appreciate them supporting the show. Jonathan Sherwood is the president of Roofers Helping Roofers. And you also help out with Roofers Helping Roofers. Is that right?
I do, yeah. Yeah, so it's an awesome platform. It originally started, Jonathan kind of went he saw Gary Vee speak and he spoke about how he was creating this content and then giving it out for free. So Jonathan started to follow that kind of guideline and that model. And then it turned into like people just started hitting him up and loving his videos, and he'd get FaceTimed on roofs and he'd like throw their shirts on and then like go on the roofs and everything. So he just started Roofers Helping Roofers, and then he kind of turned it into a consulting thing now where people have full access to him and his resources. He's a complete pro on like commercial roofing, foam and coatings, like the social media marketing, fluid application. So it's really amazing what he's done with the platform and took it kind of from 0 to 100.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really cool that he kind of like, went to the conference, saw Gary Vee, and started kind of like taking. I remember Gary Vee saying back then. I was at that same conference that Jonathan
Was it
went
Win the
to.
Storm?
It was Win the Storm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Definitely.
that's what I thought.
It was Win the Storm. I was there. Yeah, and like I remember Gary Vee kind of saying, "Look, I always go to these conferences and like I get discouraged because like I know no one's gonna really do what I'm saying, and I know this stuff works, and it's just like heartbreaking." I remember Gary Vee saying that, but Jonathan actually, he's like, there's probably one person who's gonna do it. He probably was the one, because he really took it to heart, And I remember his first video too. Like, I don't know if you remember this one, but he was on it's a giant like multi-family, and it was he was like did this. It was a nice video, it was like a minute long or so, and kind of talking about the multi-family with nice drone pictures and stuff. and then he kind of posted it on SVG or some group, and he's like, "What do you guys think?" And he got all this engagement, and like everybody like loved it and stuff. Do you remember that video?
I do, yeah. And then one of the ones he started with too was the Spoonie Love one, where he took the monkey and like had it on the roofs and climbing ladders and stuff, and people he just started like finding out what worked and what didn't work, and you'd be surprised like what actually does work and what catches the eye of people. It's like sometimes the most random things.
Seriously.
And I did social media marketing for a long time too, like throughout this industry. So it's just kind of weird, like what posts you get reactions to.
I mean, you know, your posts always like you get so many you get a lot of engagement. Like, can you tell us a little bit, just, I don't know, some tricks and tips of like social media marketing?
I mean, for me, it was kind of building relationships with people and not acting like I'm a computer. So I would interact with people and like talk to them on the phone and just kind of mess around with them, not try to sell them anything, and just kind of like have fun, talk to them like they're my friend.
Yeah.
You know, and then like I just recently started like being able to make like graphics and stuff, but before it was kind of like the content was already there, but I was just kind of being myself and talking to people.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you post pretty consistently, right? Like being consistent is one of the keys to it. I'm terrible at it, but I know you post pretty regularly, right?
I know how to like write the copy and do the posts and stuff, and where to share them to like different platforms, and which pages you should create, like a public page, a private page, like all the social media I kind of been used to. Like I'll share to like Level the Playing Field or the Roofing and Solar one, Storm Ventures group. A lot of those pages I utilize.
Okay, that's really cool. And so, well, I think Jonathan's very lucky, to be having you be a part of Roofers Helping Roofers, and I guess you guys are going to, or you're going to RoofCon here pretty soon, I guess, right? And that's like coming up like in a week or something like that. You got your plane tickets and ready to go?
I do, yeah. This is actually my first one, so I'm excited to see kind of what it's all about, because every time people would always go to it, and I just know I always had something going on with a different conference. So it's kind of cool to go see different conferences, because I was always at Win the Storm. So it's
You're gonna enjoy it. Cool. It's really fun. You're gonna enjoy it. I love going to those conferences. I'm really sad actually. I'm not going because
You're not?
No, this was like months ago. My wife like made plans. Her friend is coming to town, and I'm like taking the kids for the weekend. And I committed to that, and I was like, hey, have fun with your friend. Like, definitely don't worry about the kids. And I'm like, I was like, a month ago, I was like, wait, that's the same time as RoofCon. And she's like, dude, we planned this like months and months ago.
She's like, you're out of luck.
Yeah, you're out of luck, man. I was like, hey, it's fine. Yeah. So I'm doing that. And so, but anyways, Kaylie, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for coming on the show. It's great to kind of, talk with you for a minute. And kind of tell us about what Jonathan's doing, the Roofers Helping Roofers. It's just so cool that like he is giving out so much information for free, and like he makes himself available, and I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, and he really cares about helping people and wants to see other people win and celebrate their wins and see them succeed. So I'm really proud of him and what he's done and how he's helped this industry. And he's at Best of Success speaking right now, and he's going to be speaking at RoofCon. So I'm really excited for him. He
makes himself available, and I just think that's really cool. It's like continue to stick with it, and I know he's done really well with it. So I'm excited to have him on the show next week. Actually, he's our featured guest next week. And so I think that's like in person, or maybe it's Zoom. I forgot, but I'll find out. Either way, thank you, Kaylie. We're gonna get you off the show, and we will see you soon. I'm sure I'll be following your posts on social all the time, and I encourage everybody else to follow Kaylie as well.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It was nice catching up with you, Armando. It's been a minute.
You too. Yeah, it has been a little while. It's been too long. I'll see you.
Keep rocking that Roofers Helping Roofers shirt there, man.
I will. It's my new uniform.
Love it.
I want it. I'm gonna have another one made too. I'm getting my own like custom made just T-shirt with like a screen print of Roofers Helping Roofers right across from it.
I got socks for you. I can get a hat for you. I'll just swag you up over there.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'll wear it.
Sure, what swag.
But okay. One you should do is just plain old like a T-shirt, like a white cotton tee, and just like a screen print right across from it that way of Roofers, like the whole logo like right across from it, and even in the back too. And I like wearing those just on the weekends, just whenever. I'm always pulling shirts like that out. And so, so yeah, that, just a little idea that might help out.
Yeah, I have all these, like, every time I go to a conference, I like go collect all the shirts from all the booths and stuff, and I just sleep in all of them. I get like too big of a size, and it's just my nighttime outfit. I have all these roofing shirts.
And even in the back too. And I like wearing those just on the weekends, just whenever. I'm always pulling shirts like that out. And so,
Right, start charging.
Just a little idea that might help out.
All right, see ya.
All right, see you, bye. That was Kaylie McIntosh, guys. A really great gal, and she's really good at social media. I follow her a lot and kind of like see how she kind of does it and do my best to, not really copy it, but like just really the big thing is being consistent, if you're posting on social and building a personal brand, which I'm terrible at. I just kind of like, I just think too much about the captions, I think, I think too much about like what I'm going to write and what I'm going to type, because I'm a writer. Like that's what I have training in. My background is in writing. So like I sit there and like craft and stuff. I have like a blog that you can kind of visit one of these days. But yeah, so anyways, enough about me. I want to get Heather on the line. We have to cut to a quick break though. We're going to cut to a quick break because we need a couple. Honestly, guys, I mean, I love promoting the sponsors, but I need to cut a quick break. Just hang in there with me because we need like a little time to like prepare in between guests. And you probably see a lot of the background here when I post these pictures. There's like kind of a lot going on here. Okay, so hang tight there with me. We're gonna be right back with Heather Hitchcock. Heather Hitchcock is like the shit. I'm sorry, I don't curse too often, but I just have to say she is the shit. Like I love following everything that she does. I love, like, she just posted this like crazy stuff about, like, I don't know. We're gonna let her say what she posted about. So we'll be right back after this break. Okay, so hang tight there with me. We're gonna be right back with Heather Hitchcock. Heather Hitchcock is like the shit. I'm sorry, I don't curse too often, but I just have to say she is the shit. Like I love following everything that she does. I love, like, she just posted this like crazy stuff about, like, I don't know. We're gonna let her say what she posted about. So we'll be right back after this break.
Okay, cool. You're doing great. You have more live followers than you've ever had right now.
Okay.
Just little glitches are happening because I had to switch. But I don't know what happened, but when I put it on YouTube, I talked to Tyler about it a little bit. He said it just
Heather, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you put your phone horizontal, please?
Okay. She needs to put her phone horizontal.
Can she hear me in the mic?
Should be able to.
Heather, can you hear me? Yep, she's good. Okay, can you put your phone horizontal, please? Okay.
She good?
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're back. We had some time to kind of get set up. I was told that I have to stall for a minute, so hang in there with me. Okay, well, instead of stalling, let's talk about personal branding, guys, right? So like, what is personal branding? Like, I know I've been working on it for a long time, and that's when I started the podcast, and honestly, I didn't even know why I was personal branding. I was just kind of like having fun and, doing my thing and like, interacting with people online. I made this big decision to kind of start doing that, and eventually turned into kind of what I'm doing now. So, anyways, let's enough about me again. Let's get Heather on the line. Let's see if she can hear us. Heather, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Heather, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
Awesome.
you can't hear me.
I can.
Yeah, there you are.
Yep, I can hear you now.
What's up, my friend?
Not much. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Okay. There you are. Awesome. I can see you now. So, Heather, guys, I want to let you know, Heather is like being a great sport. She kind of came on last minute because we had not going to get into what happened, but didn't work out with our previous guest, and so Heather's been building a personal brand online. I've been following her ever since I met her. We met probably, I want to say like a month ago or so when you went to the Commercial Roofing Academy. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
I was very impressed by you, Heather. I don't mean to, I didn't even know who you were exactly. I was just impressed with you as an individual because the way you presented yourself, you present yourself very professionally. I can tell why you sell a lot of roofs, right? You go and like meet with people and you present yourself very well. You're very well spoken. You're educated. You've got a strong background. You're a single mom, 3 kids. I mean, you've got a lot going for you, and
I do.
I didn't realize. So, well, let's talk a little bit about that. Like you, well, because I didn't realize that you've been through a lot in your life, right? Like those pictures.
You could say that, yeah.
Those pictures you posted recently, I was like, wait, what?
Right.
So what? Okay, I don't even know where to start. Like what?
Where you start? I know.
What happened? What happened
Man, what happened? Golly, I don't even know where to start. I'll say this. So I was in the health and fitness industry for a long time. I had a gym. I had a supplement business. I had no idea anything about roofing. But backing up to earlier parts of my life, man, I've just struggled. I've struggled since I was 14 with drugs and alcohol. Everything under the sun, I've battled it. And life has been tough. And, I've kind of done the rise and fall thing, rise and fall. And
do you have were your parents together? Or were your parents married or divorced?
My parents are together. Yeah, they're still together. My parents provided a great life for me. I was just a really jacked up chick that was really empty and searching for things in all the wrong places. And it wasn't until very late in life that I found Jesus Christ, and it changed everything for me.
Wow. I at least have the excuse because I have a similar background with you. I also struggle with drugs and alcohol since I was 13, and
Okay.
And, I was a problem child. I went to juvie, I think like 3 times. I mean, it was pretty bad,
Yeah.
Which I have some new content coming out about that, by the way.
So when I was 16, my parents sent me to Montana to live in the wilderness to save my life for 2 years because I was that out of control, jacked up.
So
I
you
can
did that
relate.
wilderness survival thing. Did they come and
I
get you?
did.
Did they come and
They
in the middle of the
lied
night?
to me. They came and they told me I was going to self-esteem camp. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm pretty confident, right? I'm all strung out on cocaine. What's up? And they took me. And then I remember getting off the plane and this total hippie chick was like, hey, do you have any drugs or alcohol or cigarettes on you? I was like, yes. She's like, well, I need them. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm here for self-esteem camp. And that was it for me.
Oh, wow. Well, at least they didn't come and take you in the middle of the night, right? And like snatch you out of your bedroom
No,
type
I
thing.
went.
Like, they do that to
Yeah,
kids
no,
nowadays.
it wasn't one of those. They do. Yeah. they do that.
What's your opinion about that now that you're a mom? Like, because I mean, because I know I have friends that it happened to back in the day, and I thought I had mixed feelings about it, and like I still do have mixed feelings about it. I don't know about because they literally come at like 3 a.m. and like snatch you out of bed while
Take
you're
you.
sleeping,
Handcuff
throw you in
you.
the van, and like you're going, and your parents are like sorry, and they're crying. It's this whole big dramatic, traumatic scene, in my opinion. But if your kid's out of control doing drugs, about to die through drugs anyways, like you might as well do it. I mean, what do you think?
So that's a really great question. And I will say this. I would never and could never do it with my children. However, I know that my parents did the best that they could. And I also know it saved my life. It was very traumatic. It was very hard. As a 16-year-old broken girl needing to be loved. And I got ripped out of, my home and put in an institution essentially. But it saved my life. So I honor my parents. They did the best they could. But no, I definitely don't think that would be a solution for my children.
Well, I at least have the excuse of that, I had a broken home. My parents were divorced at 3, I was 3 and, my dad was, partying. My mom was working, trying to put food on the table. So she couldn't really, provide some of the things that like a stay-at-home mom can provide and stuff like that. But like, I'm a grown adult and, I'm not blaming my parents for stuff, but like, I at least have that as an excuse, but you don't even really have that, right? Because your parents were together and they did their best to kind of give you a good life, right?
My parents did a great job at giving me a good life. I was just a very rebellious punk. That's really the bottom line.
How does that happen? I'm like so confused, like, because I'm a parent, right? I'm a parent now, and I'm like nervous. Like, is my kid gonna be like Heather running around here?
I'll be really honest. This is gonna sound probably like super Bible thumper-ish, but now I believe that everything I went through was for a purpose, because I'm coming into a season of my life where it's time to speak my testimony, and it's pretty dark and it's pretty intense. And it's time to start helping other people get delivered and get out of the darkness and find hope and all of that stuff. So it's all coming full circle. But how does it happen? Man, the world is hard. We look at the times we're living in. It's just evil everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we have to do really, really intentional things to stay protected and to keep our kids protected and all that stuff. So, you know, and it's crazy. My kids are like total opposites of anything I ever was. So God is good, and he works it out. Don't be afraid of that. He's got you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I need to have more faith for sure.
Absolutely.
No doubt about that. So then you owned a fit. So you went to school, you kind of got out of trouble enough to, I guess, have some kids, right? I mean, what did you, were you married?
I went to school. I went to school.
Okay.
Say again. Sorry.
Were you like married and had like a whole family life going on, and things didn't work out type of situation?
Yeah, exactly. So I had these children. I started a CrossFit gym. It was a crazy successful gym. I had a supplement business. Everything was thriving. And unfortunately, my ex-husband he went back into some drug addiction and couldn't break it. And so unfortunately, I kind of went backwards with him at a certain time. And when we split, I went out of control because my whole life, everything that I had known just was like, boom, totally changed.
I could see
that. Yeah, it destroyed me. And I felt like a total failure, total loser. And I went backwards. I started drinking again. I got another DWI. My son was in the car. I mean, it was terrible.
Wow.
It was awful.
Yeah.
And it was just a downward spiral from there for a long time.
Wow. Okay. And so from there, I mean, gosh, that must have been really hard for your family and stuff, seeing you
crazy
go through that. I mean, I could only imagine. And you somehow, did you get help? I guess. I mean, you're obviously not there now, right? You're not like going crazy now as far as drinking and drugs go and whatnot. Like, did you have to go into treatment and get help and do all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I went into treatment a couple times. I tried to get help a couple times. I was trying to do it myself though. And so what happened was 2 years ago, I got my fourth DWI.
Okay.
And in Texas, when you get 3, you're going to prison. And my third DWI was a felony charge, got reduced to a misdemeanor. My fourth DWI was another felony. I was supposed to go to prison. And when I got that last DWI, that was the moment for me. I was in the jail cell on my knees, crying, begging out, like, please, God, just give me one more chance.
Yeah.
And I had to basically surrender my life. And then 2 years later, it was actually just this last April was my sentence. And so I had to walk for 2 years. And I was, these last 2 years, I just surrendered my life to the Lord, and I was waiting for my destiny, which was my consequence based on my poor choice. And the morning of my sentence, they dismissed my fourth DWI, was dismissed. No paper, no probation, no fines, no lawyer, no legal fees, no nothing. And it was just gone. And now it's just a miracle I've been walking out.
So that was rock bottom when you were like on your knees in the jail cell crying out to God for help. That's about how far down you had to go in order to finally realize you needed to change.
I was going to lose my freedom, and my children were not going to have a mother. And I'm mommy and dad. And it got real fast.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
It sucks it had to go that far though, right? I mean, probably didn't have
takes what it takes though,
Yeah, it does. I mean, I had I had a hard rock bottom too. And so, so you kind of started to kind of get back on your feet, and did you go back to the gym and start like working on the gym, or is that when you jumped into roofing?
Yeah. So I actually had this supplement business that I had built for the last 10 years. It was a multi-level marketing company. There was 600,000 distributors at one point. I was in the top 150. It was a very, very significant income I had built. It was supposed to be residual income for life. And after 25, 30 years of the compensation plan being what it was, we got a 6-week notice that we were losing our income. So from 6 months, in 6 weeks, I went from $10,000 to $15,000 a month to about $350 a month. And I was like, how am I going to take care of my family?
Yeah.
And I had a buddy who had a small residential roofing company. I'd never been in roofing, never knew anything, thought roofing was like weird and like, who did that? didn't think there was any money in it. I just didn't know. And he showed me, he was like, hey, come help me. You just sit on site in case they need anything. So I sat in my car for like 4 hours. He paid me $600 cash. I'm thinking, well, this is awesome, man. Like I can do this. And then I saw an insurance scope and I saw the margins and I'm like, what is this? You know? And I'm like, this is amazing. And so that was essentially how I got into roofing. I had a couple contractors that I got introduced to and I didn't know anything. So I was trusting them to be training me essentially. And very quickly, over about a 9.5 month span, I realized that they were not for me. They were basically doing everything wrong, everything. I learned what not to do. I didn't know it. But at the 9-month mark, if I'm honest, I probably had no business opening my own roofing company. But I knew at that point, based on what I had experienced with people who in the industry have been doing this for 15 plus years, that I could provide a better service with integrity, honesty. And so that's what I did. So I started my own company in September of last year. I had a goal, a huge lofty goal. I needed 1 roof a month to successfully take care of my family. 2, to let me live the life, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm doing 2 to 4 roofs a week. So
yeah,
it's
that's crazy.
It's amazing.
Wow, Heather, that's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, I think
it is amazing.
There's certain things though, like you had some experience in sales with the multi-level marketing. You also had experience in business, like getting your gym, you know, up and running and operating that. And so for you to kind of, you know, start your roofing company in Texas, which is, from what I understand, the regulation, you don't even need a license, right? I mean,
no, you get your license after being in business for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what's nice about Texas is the restrictions are fairly low so you can, you know, you can kind of get things going and that kind of thing. It's very, you know, business friendly state, which is great. And so so that's what kind of all those things combined allow you to kind of do what you're doing now. And you're just taking things to the next level, right? You're going to the Commercial Roofing Academy. You're learning how to, you know, develop your company in commercial roofing. Is that still something you're very interested in kind of continuing to develop?
Yeah. So that was actually in my 5-year goal. So I had 1 year, 3-year, and 5-year goals. And my 5-year was to transition to commercial, really not knowing much of anything. But I have some contacts, you know, I am very well connected, but I really didn't have the people behind me to make that happen yet. And Kimberly Reed with the Commercial Roofing Academy had reached out to me and I got to go out there and went out and started to get connected with those guys. And last week I walked a 62,000 square foot flat roof that we're bidding for a restoration project and it's looking really good. And so, yeah, we're going to the next level and I'm super grateful and crazy excited. It's pretty life-changing. Everything has just been insane. Like, it's just insane, really.
Well, you know what I love about the Commercial Roofing Academy too, and the Reeds and all the coaches involved there with Jonathan and Steve Patrick is that they like I've been working with the CRA on developing their video content for their virtual academy as well, which is a really great academy. And they're very like, you know, let's do this right. You know, let's do this like incrementally, you know, let's do this in a way that is sustainable over time. You know, it's not like, let's go sell like double our company type thing and like, you know, ramp up, you know, grow too quickly, too fast, you know, type thing. Cause I've experienced growing pains of that personally with my roofing company. And it's just not, I don't think it's a sustainable way to do it. I think it's, you know, kind of like slow and steady growth, building it over a few years time. You know, in 3 to 5 years, you have like a solid commercial division, you know, that is like, I mean, that is life-changing. It truly is. So, you know, even though I'm looking to get out, I'm looking to transition into doing video marketing more often. And so, but when I'm working with the Reeds, I want to get back and jumping into commercial roofing sales because it definitely is an amazing opportunity, you know, and I know a lot about roofing, so that's something I could do. But anyways, Heather, it's really amazing to hear your story. And like, I feel like I'm inspired, you know, like I love, that's why like sometimes I wonder like, why am I doing this show? You know, and then this is why I love it. You know, I love talking to people like you and I love talking to all the guests that I've had over the years and that, you know, people want me to continue to do it. So I'm going to keep going. And I think, it's important to know that, you know, like Roofers in Recovery, you've probably heard of them, right?
I have. Yep. I sure have.
They're doing some golf stuff with C3 Group here pretty soon. They're doing some golf cart, but you know, it's important to know that because dude, the roofer industry has a lot of like alcohol and drug abuse. I mean, that's just the reality, you know? And so, they like to party a lot of times. And so it's important to know that there's recovery is possible, that you can,
possible.
Move beyond that and that kind of thing. So, I don't want to preach too hard, but thank you again, Heather, for telling us your story.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to continue to follow you online. Actually, wait, one thing I did want to mention when you kind of got into doing roofing, because when we got to talking, you were saying how you don't really knock on doors. Like, is a lot of your stuff, is a lot of your marketing like social media marketing?
Okay. Yes. So I'll say this. I love one of the things that at the Commercial Roofing Academy they talked about was creating raving fans, right? Mm-hmm. And so that has been what I've been doing my whole life with just a different product. So I really subscribe to that. But I also have completely built my business on social media. So I started making these like silly, and when I got into the industry, you have to understand, like, I didn't know anything about anything. So like, I didn't know that people kind of talk, make fun of people that get on and take pictures, and like that people will get up there and pretend like they're roofing, but they're just taking pictures on roofs, all that stuff. I didn't know anything. So I was really just organically trying to build a business and create value. And so I started getting on these roofs, and I was seeing workmanship that was blowing my mind of like, how am I so new to this game? And I can say that this is terrible, and people are literally getting screwed over and they don't know any different. So I started making these videos of just simple, very, very basic. This is what I'm doing. This is what you should look for. This is what happens. And it just drew a lot of interest very fast. I don't knock doors. I haven't knocked doors except for one day with one of my sales guy when I was training him with some word choices. But I probably have, I don't know, my phone, I probably get 2 organic leads a day, and social media is my number one driving force. It's been pretty insane. I feel like it was the most brilliant decision I've ever made in my entire life, moving into the roofing industry. So, and I wish I would have done it sooner. But a
couple things you said though, Heather, is that like building an online personal brand wasn't really new when you got into roofing to you, right? It wasn't like a new thing. You had been doing that over the years, right?
I'll say this. So what I learned in all of that was prior to, I built other people's brands. And so what I learned when the company that I was with, the supplement company, when it did what it did, I said, I'll never build anyone else's brand again. So I got really intentional on building my brand, myself, and the value that I could bring to the table, and people connect with that. And when they connect with that, they trust you, and then you just stay relevant and keep it funny and a good mix of, business and family and just a lot of stuff. And you just have to be relatable, and people love that, man. They love that. And then they want to give you business. So we just had a hurricane, a little Cat 1 in Houston, and man, the referrals that came in, it was so overwhelming. It was my old gym members. It was my old supplement customers. They want to recommend my company, and that's what it's all about. So that's what I've been trying to create. That's what we've created. And now we're just kind of walking out the blessing. So it's been pretty cool. you
post like, I I feel like with you don't even really have like an actual strategy. You don't really even you don't know what you don't like craft. I don't know what I'm doing still. Well, no, but what it is you are like, it's just like just a normal thing for you at this point to be posting on stories regularly every day, posting on an actual post every day, taking pictures and posting them. It's not an afterthought for you. It's just a normal part of your day, right?
Yeah. So I'm like all about authenticity. I just believe in it. And I believe that we all need to be more authentic, and people appreciate authenticity. And so I'm just me. I'm not a perfect person, but I'm me, and what you see is what you get. And so no, there's really no strategy. I just, in the moment, think of things and, do a video, and something might grab hold of people and something may not, but it's definitely at people's faces. And I've definitely created the mindset into people. When they need a roofer, they call me. So I guess it's working.
That authenticity piece that you're talking about is kind of relative in a way, right? Because like for me, I have a background in writing. I really enjoy like sitting down and crafting my words and like, creating some kind of post that I feel will be good, that my audience will be able to, to resonate with. And me doing that is authentic to myself. Right. But like someone who isn't into doing all that stuff, that would be like not a good way for them to do it. Right. Like,
right. That's not me. I don't plan any of it.
Yeah. That's not you. So that, I feel like we have to be true to ourselves, whatever that is. If planning is sort of a way, an approach is, it works for you, great. If not planning is in a way and just kind of go, you know, organically, that's great too. But like, I do think though, like either way, one way or another, you got to jump in, you know, whatever way that is, because there's a lot of people who are just not really posting, not really and they're just sitting on the sidelines, and they're missing out on business, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's like,
yes.
yeah.
So I'll say this. So when I first started, it was really scary. I was like, number one, am I going to be super annoying? Like, are these people going to get annoyed with me talking about roof stuff?
Yeah.
You know, I remember the first time I posted, I was just like, ah. And, but very quickly, people started telling me that they were like, for whatever reason, don't even care about roofs, but they were engaged with what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I realized that people like that. They like a look into, other people's lives. And then if you bring some value, you know, so, you know, our homes are our largest investment for most people, right? And what I've learned since getting into this industry is very few people have any understanding or idea or are educated on their roofing system.
Yeah.
And so they're just taking salespeople's words at face value. And sadly, at least in my community of roofers, what I experienced was just a lot of disintegrous people that were lying. And so when I started just showing people and putting it on video and pictures, they were like, well, I wonder about my roof, and well, come check out my roof. And then before you know it, you know, everybody's getting a new roof, and you know, they're appreciating it because they're learning. And so I think it's really important. People want to see it. They don't want to just hear about it. And so I kind of bring that, you know, spin of like, I don't want you to just take my word. Let me show you what you had. Let me show you what's supposed to be. And so it's been really, really good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, any people out there, listeners and stuff, I guess if you're in Heather's market, don't post so often, right? Heather,
you can post away.
Heather, what market are you in? Are you in DFW?
No, I'm actually in Houston.
Oh, Houston.
I'm in Houston.
That's
I service the whole, Houston's huge. So, you know, Houston for me is still 100 miles out from where I live. So Houston to Galveston and everything around and in between.
And I like your, you wear like snapback hats, right? Like you wear like
I love
snapbacks.
Flat bills are my thing. Yeah. High tops and flat bills. I got some good little high tops. And
see, that's the thing about personal branding too, is it's good to have your own sort of little unique twist. Like I'm wearing the Roofers Helping Roofers shirt today because, you know, they're a new sponsor and stuff, but I like to wear my t-shirt and my coat, my sport coat, you know, to kind of do a little wait, what shoes were those?
Oh, bro, these are my new little Jordan Air Forces. Can you see them? They're great.
I can't see them. Yeah, I love Jordan.
You can't see them?
Yeah.
You're actually right. So when I started, I was kind of dorky and I didn't know I was wearing these like Columbia khaki fishing shorts in these like polos. I was working with people, and you know, I'm a female and I'm not trying to like, you know, sell sex. So I have to be really like careful because I'm really just trying to sell roofs, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to be careful, but I also live in Houston where it's 180 degrees all the time.
Yeah.
And I also am covered in tattoos. And so a lot of people will say like, you should cover your tattoos, but you know, it is all about how you carry yourself. So I am in shorts, a tank top, a t-shirt, and high tops with a flat bill hat 90% of the time. And I'm, you know, I've kind of hit a little niche market with very high-end residential.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you carry yourself. It's all about the message you're bringing.
Yeah.
But I 100% believe that. And I love, so now it's like, I'm living my dream, man. Every day I wake up, I put some high tops on, a little hat. Fortunately, I didn't have any makeup on today when you called. I had no idea, but at least I brushed my hair. So I had that going for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, hey, Heather, we're going to let you go. That's the show for today.
All right, buddy.
I actually have to get to another meeting too, but that's our show for today, guys. We're going to let you go, Heather. And I think we're going to cut to a quick break. I'm going to come back with some final thoughts here. I do have a couple final thoughts to share. And then we will, about personal branding and about, you know, kind of posting on social and whatnot. So Heather, thank you again. I will see you around online, and I will see you hopefully in person one of these days again.
Awesome. Thanks, Armando.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Okay, guys, so we are back. And so for my final thought that I'd like to borrow from the Jerry Springer show, because I sadly am a Jerry Springer fan, is Look, it doesn't matter how far down you've gone, you know, in your life, and it doesn't even matter, you know, like where you are now. You might be very high up, and I just had an amazing podcast with a guy named Reggie Brock, because I have Roofing It podcast also. And Reggie Brock was telling me how he works with people who are very high up in business who are very empty inside, you know, and he tries to kind of like, you know, help people with that, you know. And I think if you are very high up and you're in that situation, you know, or if you're really far down, like Heather was, you know, in a jail cell, you know, begging God to help you with your life, you know, wherever you are, I think, I'm not a very religious man, but I want to encourage people to have faith. You know, that's sort of my final thought today, because, you know, one thing that Heather kind of really helps her get out of where she was is her faith, you know, and she, you know, I call it a higher power, you know, but, you know, other people, it has different names, you know, and so whatever you call it, you know, like develop that. I think that's what helps people get from maybe far down, or if you're far up, that helps people like with this like human condition that we have, which is a very challenging thing to deal with. Just being human is very tough. So that's my final thought for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today's show. It will also be on my YouTube. We finally got streaming YouTube going. So now if you didn't watch it, you can just go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. Maybe I'll have some more subscribers, some more views than like 10 people. But I don't care, because I'm going to keep doing this. And, you know, if it takes time, it takes time. And I do have some new content coming out too that we got filming when I was in Vegas recently, about like kind of growing up in Vegas and what that was like. Because I grew up in Vegas. A lot of people don't know that. And it was crazy growing up there. You know, talk about getting into some trouble and talk about all kinds of crazy stuff that happened. So I got some new content on my YouTube channel coming out with that. So anyways, that's going to do the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.